Jessie woo, VBS. I just turn the water on. Big old flex. She never saw before. He's chasing me like waterfall. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of Just a Couple Things, y'all. Hosted by your sister, Jessie Woo. How are y'all doing? I hope that you guys are doing well. Before we get into this episode for this week, I want to make sure that y'all are subscribed. Are you subscribed? Are you subscribed? Are you subscribed to Just a Couple Things on every platform that streams podcasts? If you the Apple people on Apple Podcasts, hit follow. If you are the Spotify people, hit follow. If you the Amazon, if you the SoundCloud, whatever platform you use to get your podcast, look up Just a Couple Things podcast, hosted by me, Jessie Woo. Hit follow, and guess what? You get the audio first. And then when you're done listening to the audio, come on over here to YouTube, child, and you can see my little cute face. You see my lipstick? You see how cute I got myself for y'all? I didn't do my edges this episode, child. I had a lot going on today. But you know what? Who needs edges when you've got our fabulous guest that we're about to get into for this episode, okay? We don't need edges, okay? Listen, y'all. This episode has been a long time coming, at least for me. I've wanted to speak to this man for a minute. So let's just jump right on in, not out, but in, okay? We have got our fairy god brother, dating and relationship coach, none other than Mr. ANWAR. Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
Hello. ANWAR, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? Woo woo woo. That's what I'm calling you. Woo woo woo.
Thank you. That's so cute.
Mhm.
I'm great. I'm so happy that I get to share space with you today and have this conversation. I mean, the girlies love you.
I
Everybody
appreciate
loves,
it.
like, everybody appreciates what you bring to the dating and relationship landscape. You've built your TikTok, you've built your Instagram, you built your socials so well, and you've given us so many tokens for free. I mean, what inspired you to do what you're doing today?
Yeah, well, I have been helping boys talk to girls and girls talk to boys since elementary school. Like, a lot of people don't know this about me. I'm 6'2", I'm 6'3", so I was a huge
Oh,
jock growing up. I was captain of the basketball team, tennis team, so I was balling with the boys and then I was double dutching with the girls. So I've always been able to navigate both of those spaces.
mhm.
And so that's where it really started. And then I didn't really formalize it until I graduated and got my MBA. And all my
Mm,
girlfriends were like having the most amazing lives, right? They were traveling, they had the great homes, the cars, the most amazing careers, but their love life was total shit. It was horrible. And
wow.
me, being the type A person that I am, I'm like, girl, you're amazing. Like, let's just get this solved for you. Like, I just think boys are simple. They're not easy, but they're simple. And
Mm.
so I was like, okay. And before I knew it, they were in relationships, and within a couple of years, they were getting engaged and married. And so I was like, I really prefer this versus the billion-dollar fashion budgets that I was managing before this.
So if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be a professor or a teacher. And I did that. I did that for a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'd probably do
But
that.
you're
I
still
love
teaching.
teaching. I love helping people understand new, different, and complex subjects.
Yeah. You're still teaching us.
I try to.
Yeah, you're still spreading wisdom. I feel like that's probably just your God-given gift.
Well,
Like,
thank you.
yeah, you're still doing that. Okay, I have so much that I want to talk to you
Girl,
about.
let's get into it. I'm happy to
Let's
be here, girl.
Happy to have you. Okay, so dating. It's
Yes.
always a topic that everyone wants to get into. I personally just feel like no matter what walk of life you're in, we all want love. No matter who we all are looking for some type of partnership. You
Yeah.
know, the partnership may vary, but we're all looking for that somebody who we can partner up with in life. And usually I do something called I suggest, which is set it off, I suggest. It's usually when a listener will write in a letter, but since I knew I was going to have you on today, I wanted to pick your brain about a certain topic within the dating realm. So I came across this thread, and it was by a young lady by the name of Aubrey Kern. And she threaded this: as a single woman of God, I'm not okay. I'm praying for connection, partnership, emotional security, physical touch, and my best friend for life. Everything. And if I hear one more person say, be patient, God will bring him when you least expect it, I'm going to explode. So she threaded this, and she was met with a lot of the Christians, and the commentary was so horrible. Like, it was, I mean, she said it in her thread, which I don't want to hear, God gonna send him when he least expect it. Like, but not only this was she met with that, she was also met with, oh, well, you doing too much to find a man, and and you maybe you're not godly enough, or maybe you're not like Christian enough, and you're not, pouring your oil over your forehead enough. And I wanted to pick your brain about dating within the Christian, or even maybe like the religious realm.
Yeah.
Do you get a lot of the Christian girlies?
I mean, girl, you already know, right? You already know. And that's
Yeah.
why one of my coaches on my team is Christian focused,
Mm.
right? So that they can help navigate exactly how to date today in the modern era, but still keep your faith and your values aligned with the Lord and the Word,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I think it's a really important question. I think that a lot of the things that we really focus on in my program are making sure that we're not waiting for love. We're creating it. You can't do it because if you talk to everybody, and
Oh, I
no
like that.
shade,
Yeah.
even the elderly ladies at church, they've been waiting and they haven't gotten anyone. And they haven't gotten anyone because they're not making it happen. And you have to create your love life. You can't wait for it. That's number one, right?
Mm.
I think the second thing that I tell all of my Christian clients is, and I'm gonna give you the tea. I'm gonna give you the tea that I don't give a lot of people,
Oh, give me the
because
tea. Hold
you're
on.
my sister, girl. You're my sister.
Okay. And you my fairy godbrother,
Yes,
period.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Um, what I think is very important is a lot of Christian women are very used to being told what to do and how to think. And oftentimes, most of the Christian church is led by men. So your bonding pattern with men is just to listen to them and not question. And that puts you in a very precarious and dangerous situation when it comes to dating. So, what I suggest is actually prioritizing your inner voice, your feelings, and your
Mm.
intuition, the God within you, right? To be able to lead you where you need to go. So that's number two. Number
Ooh,
three,
hold on.
yes, ma'am, because we're gonna get into it.
No, hold on. That was so good. That was so good. And I really want folks rewind that and play back what he just said, especially the Christian girlies. Rewind that and play back what he just said. Please. That was so good. So good. Continue.
There's a lot of unlearning that has to happen, unfortunately, if you're gonna win in love, dating, and relationships today. Yeah. And the reason why I'm sharing this is not because there's no shame here, right? There's
Mm-hmm.
conditioning and programming, and part of this work is deprogramming and reprogramming so that you can find the love that's going to serve you, right?
Mm.
So a lot of focus is on marriage and not on dating or being single. And
Come on.
those are very different things. And oftentimes Christian women will rush to get married because that's what people want for them without
Mm-hmm.
actually doing the true evaluation and discernment that's necessary for an actual healthy marriage, which is
Come
very
on.
important. So a lot of Christian women don't know how to date, right? They couldn't date when they were teenagers. They barely started dating when they were in college. And if we're talking about Black Christian women, they're 10, 15 years behind the white girls.
Hello.
So you have to understand that your 20s are going to be like somebody's teens. Your
Mm.
30s are going to be like everybody's 20s. And the 20s are a mess for everybody.
My
So
Lord.
your whole situation based on having a later start date, you're probably not going to get your footing in love until your 40s. Later 30s, early 40s. If we're being 100% real, unless you do this deprogramming
Early.
now,
Yeah.
yesterday, right? So that's another thing. Another thing that happens for the Christian girls, forgiveness. We got to forgive everybody. Everybody deserves forgiveness. But what
Right.
that means is that we're giving people so many chances.
To play in our face, but go ahead.
Girl, face, back, everywhere, right?
Neck.
Neck, back, everywhere.
Oh,
What that means is you have no boundaries.
Mm.
And
Ooh.
when you have no boundaries, you have no safety in
Oh.
relationships. And you have no agency in relationships. So we have to level up our boundaries. Okay? The other thing about Christian women is, and what they've been taught is to be charitable, to
Mm.
give. These Christian women
Mm.
are tithing these men in relationships, girl.
Oh my God. I feel like you're just
Girl, I have to, girl. I have to, girl. But this is me. This is
It's
what we give.
true. No,
This
but
is what we
it's
give.
true. It's true. Go ahead.
But
Take.
but you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't give men anything. That's
Mm.
that's the gag of all of this. Because when you're in your charitable nature, right?
Yeah.
When you're living the word in that way, you are going to be mothering men and you're going to be in your masculine because you're going to be providing for men. Overgiving is providing. It's masculine. And when you are
Mm.
in your masculine energy, you will find two kinds of men. Men that are overly in their feminine energy, in their dominant feminine energy, and men that are in their toxic masculine energy.
Come on.
Masculine energy.
Come
Both men are
on.
dangerous. The toxic men want to forcibly submit you into your feminine. The feminized men are going to take everything from you and give nothing back.
My Lord.
So, don't give these men anything. Absolutely nothing. Early on in the courtship. Now, there's a time where that shifts, right? And that's what I
Right.
teach my clients to do, how to navigate that. But
Yeah.
no more charity work. Okay?
Mm.
Very important. And then the last thing that I will say, and maybe some other things will come up, is because these women have been taught to be the good girl, right? They
Come on.
haven't fully explored the totality of who they are. Because we have
Mm.
all sides to us.
Yeah.
And so what will happen is they will engage with the bad boy to explore the shadow parts of themselves.
Hello.
And that's the most dangerous guy that you can be with,
Hello.
right? But it's because you haven't explored that side of yourself. You're trying to explore it within him. Those
Mm.
kinds of men that are going to go for you, those are purity vampires. They want to take your purity from you, right? Because they know that they're not worth a damn,
My
right?
God.
So part of your work as a Christian woman, for all the Christian women out there,
Mm.
is to be able to explore the parts that, inside you're like, I don't really like that. I don't like her. And be okay
Mm.
with the fact that you don't like things, right?
Mm.
Or that sometimes you got an attitude. Sometimes you're not Pollyanna 24/7, and you get
Hello.
to be that. Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah. And then finally, let me just say this because I think it's really important because a lot of women will make every guy that's in their life the one, right? And because the idea is God sent this man to me, so he must be the one. And I need
Lord.
everyone to understand that most men are a lesson. They're not the one. And we
Oh.
have to understand that if you are to be successful in dating, 98% of the men that you date won't even get to a third physical date with you.
Hello. Come on.
Now what?
He
Yeah.
ain't the one no more now, is he?
He's the lesson. He's the lesson. He's not the one. So, I think that's important. I also think it's important for Christian women to date a variety of different men. Um, because, just because a man is Christian does not mean that he is a good man.
Hello. And just because he's Christian doesn't mean that he knows the Lord or that
Correct.
he has a personal relationship with Christ. Listen, I done seen a lot of men in the church be demonic.
A
Be
lot of narcissistic,
oh God.
toxic, gay men that are Christian in the
Hello.
church.
Hello.
So Don't let the label of him being Christian blind you to that.
Mm,
It's very patriarchal, very judgmental. Do
mm.
this, do that. If you do that, you're a whore, right?
Yep.
So, like, you want someone that's accepting, that's loving, that's open minded, because your ability to be in a relationship, to compromise, right? To be able to see each other where they're at, where you're at, is really important to have a long lasting relationship.
That's so good. That is so good. I want to touch on the first thing that you said when it comes to the Christian girlies too, which is we should be creating our love lives. And the Bible says faith without works is dead.
Correct.
And I don't know why as women in the church why we don't think that applies to every like chapter of our lives. Like, you know what I mean? Like we'll put in the work for our career, we'll put in the work for our education, but why are we seen as thirsty or unchristian when we put in that work to make sure that we are with the right man? And it kind of goes to something that you touched on too, which is it's very patriarchal.
Right.
Very patriarchal, and we're just encouraged to be pureness is attached to just staying still.
Exactly. That's right.
And like you said, you turn into that 70-year-old woman who's been staying still, and still ain't got no husband.
And bitter because of it.
Yeah, yeah. That is so good. Have you seen kind of
And
there's
let
been
me
some.
just say this, because I can already see the comments. I grew up in the church. So I'm
Mhm.
not just talking out of the side of my butt here, right? Like I grew up like every Wednesday night Bible study, every Sunday,
You was going to revival on
choir,
Friday night,
chorus, you know, summer Bible school, right? All of that.
Friday night revival.
So, like, I have some history here. They might look at my mannerisms, my sexuality, and think I know nothing about this, but I really
Mhm.
do. And
Mhm.
my heart is pure, and I come from a place where I want all women to, especially Black women, to succeed. And it's harder for Christian women because you're gonna have to unlearn all of this.
Yeah. And we're programmed at such a young age.
Hmm.
So it's so hard. It's so much harder for us. I wanted to ask you this as well, because there's been a lot of talk recently, with different podcasts, clips going out, and we see a lot of the Christian women who did marry and who have been married for a long, 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 Sam Cooke long time. And we hear them and their husbands talk about their marriages, and we learn about how these husbands don't even like their wives, you know, um, what are some signs I would want to ask you early on? And maybe this is not just for Christian girlies, but just for the girlies, period. What are some signs that a man does not like you? Like from early on?
Yeah, I think that is such a great question. Um, First of all, I think it's important for you to understand that there's a difference between love and like,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think a lot of us understand love, but not necessarily like. And that
Mm.
is because a lot of our parents loved us, but maybe didn't like us. And I think it's very important for us to understand this. So it's hard for many of us to determine, does this person actually like me? Do
Now
they?
hold on. You knocking at my door now. You knocking at my
But
door.
this is the work.
Yeah.
These are the conversations that we need to have, right? It's not that, oh, people are telling women you just have to be more discerning. You can't understand anything if you have a certain bonding pattern. So we have to actually go to the root of what's going on here,
Yeah.
right? And for many of us, our parents had to go out into the world, fight a war every day,
Mm.
come home and deal with us, which is on top of things. And so when
Keyword, deal with us.
tolerate,
Yeah.
right? And not cherish,
Mm.
nurture, because
Mm.
that's part of it, right? I like you, so my face is gonna light up when you walk through in the door. As
Oh,
Toni
that's
Morrison
so
would say,
good. That's so good, Anwar.
right? It's not buying you dinner. It's not flying you out. It's not money things. Money does not mean I like you. It
Hello.
takes me 5 minutes to buy you an airplane ticket,
Clock it.
and I don't need any emotion for that. Like is rooted in emotion and
Mm.
joy, in feelings. And if someone is emotionally unavailable, it's really hard for them to like other people and like themselves. So part of it is understanding their emotional availability.
Mm.
The other part is understanding how they respect your boundaries, which means that you got to be boundaried up every step of the way. It's what I teach my clients how to do, which for we don't grow up having boundaries. And
No.
especially if you're from the Caribbean or you're from Africa,
Hello.
your family is African or immigrant, you don't have any boundaries. So
Yeah.
I teach my clients how to have boundaries so that you can evaluate whether these individuals actually like you or if they're just tolerating you. Because after a while, a man will get sick of your boundaries if he doesn't like you.
Clock it.
Clocked.
That was so good. Well, speaking of a man and having boundaries and all that, I obviously like you kind of set TikTok ablaze without saying nothing. Weeks ago, we
I'm
had
viral on TikTok often.
listen.
Yes.
Well, you're viral a lot. But there was a young lady by the name of Shirley who I had the pleasure of interviewing, I believe,
Yes.
last month or the month before last. And, she was on TikTok and she was letting the streets know, listen, I invested 10K into a dating coach and now I am engaged. And lo and behold and lo, it was you. It was you, and everybody was like, okay, because I saw the comments kind of switch 10K. But then when they found out it was you, it was like, oh, yeah. Yeah. Where were you? What were you doing? Were
Girl,
you
I was in my suburban home with my 3 kids and my partner here in Montreal, Canada, just living.
wait a minute, that's where I was born.
Oui, c'est ça. Exactement.
Tu es mon frère.
Mais bien sûr.
What? Wait a minute. So hold on. Wait. So are you Canadian or did you move to Canada?
I am American, but I also have Canadian citizenship since my
Period.
partner is French Canadian.
Period. So you decided to move to Canada.
I did, yeah,
Good
almost
for
10
you.
years ago.
Oh, good for
I'm from
you.
Los Angeles, as you can tell by this Valley Girl accent.
I love it. Niggas having a little Canadian connect. Oh wait, real quick. Have you had ketchup chips yet?
Yes, girl. It's so for me.
Well, okay, we'll talk offline about that. I don't like the reaction you had to ketchup chips.
Well, that's okay,
Uh,
girl. That's okay, girl. We get to have
mm,
different flavors. That means that we're good. I always tell people if you have a best friend and that best friend doesn't like your flavor in men, then it's meant that's your best friend.
thank
If you
you.
have the same type, that's not your friend. That's probably your enemy, girl. No shade.
No shade taken, and you're absolutely correct. Because I had a best friend like that. That we are no longer friends like that.
No, girl, the fact that I don't like ketchup chips and you like ketchup chips, it means we're still close, girl.
Okay, period. Okay,
Yeah.
fairy godmother. Okay, you got it. So you were in your home.
Just chilling.
What did you think as you were seeing everything unfold?
Yeah. Well, I love Shirley.
She
She
loves you.
is amazing. Her light is bright. I'm so grateful that you had her on so that people could see who she is as a woman,
Yeah.
right? And
She's
a
a
woman of
beautiful person.
faith. Yeah. And so I was happy that your platform was afforded to her. I didn't know that she was going to post that, right? I mean, and so it was like interesting. I was like, oh, she's excited about where she's at in her life,
Yeah.
right? When you have been struggling in your love life and you get to a place that you have been wanting to get to for so long, she shared parts of her relationship history. She didn't share it all, right?
Mm.
But when you understand that and she's getting ready for her wedding planning and she's with her friends and she's like, oh my God, let's talk about this. then that's what happens. And I think because people were interested, she started to continue with the series.
Yeah.
Um, she invested 10K because I've been working with her for multiple years. I
Yes.
think a lot of people were like, okay, you start at 10K? No, my packages are at 3K and 7K for an entire year. So if
Mhm.
you do the math, that is like, mani pedis, getting your hair done,
Literally.
right?
Literally.
Better help. But the
Yeah.
people are gagging, so I just might increase my prices, girl.
No, 'cause
Gag too
honestly,
much, and you got to get what you ask for.
and honestly, I went to your site and I was like, and we talked about it. I was like, oh, his prices are very, very reasonable,
Yeah.
very good. And I mean, I've seen enough of your work to be honest, for me to be like sold.
Well, what I try to do is I try to make sure that my free stuff is better than anyone's paid stuff, right? And so, anytime you're on my YouTube, my Instagram, my TikTok, you're going to get stuff that you won't even get with other people's paid stuff, right? So that you can
Mm,
level up in your love life. Now, it's up to other people if they want to do that deeper work, right? That inner child work that I think is so important that will help you not just focus on dating, but also be successful and thrive in your relationships. That's why my clients come to me, right?
yeah,
Also, I have all of these different frameworks and strategies to help people date because they don't know how to date, right?
yeah.
If I ask people, what's your dating strategy? 95% of the people are going to say, I don't have one. But you
Mhm.
have a strategy for everything else in your life.
So true.
So I'm helping ladies have a strategy and a framework so they know exactly what to do every step of the way instead of giving away and abdicating their power in dating. And I will tell you, dating is the most complicated it's ever been.
Oh my
More
God.
people need a strategy, more people need help than ever before.
Yeah.
So, in terms of her sharing all this information, I'm never here to, I'm always here to cheer on my clients, right? If she wants to do that, I'm happy for her. I'm supporting her. You know, I got, you're a scammer, you're a grifter, you're taking advantage of Black women. I
I didn't
don't,
see that.
look, I'm a gay Black man. I don't care what people say
Yeah,
about
yeah,
me.
yeah.
If
Yeah.
I did, I wouldn't be where I am today,
Mm,
right? So, I was talking to you about this earlier. There are people that are haters, there are people that are followers, there are people that are fans, and then there are people that are clients,
yep.
right? And so my clients are my clients and I love them and I'm going to serve them and that's going to be my focus more than anything else. So I'm not really hyper focused on all of the other rhetoric. I'm busy getting people into relationships every other day.
Period.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Um, when I spoke to Shirley, she said something, she said a couple things, but she said that when she first came to you, you had to really assist her, and I'm paraphrasing, I can't remember her exact wording, but you had to assist her with like softening up.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, is that something that you run into a lot with us when we are coming to you for dating, for coaching? And where do you think that stems from?
Yeah. I have to navigate that with every Black and brown woman that I talk to.
Hmm.
Each and every one. So I think it's important. Even some of these really prissy, pretty girls think that they don't have that masculine energy, and they
No,
do.
it's there. It's
They,
there.
they do. They do. Right? It's not about the physical. It's about the energy, right? And unfortunately, Black girls are raised in a way that is different than everyone else.
Yeah.
They are raised not to feel. They're parentified, right? They are a second mother and especially if you're an eldest, you're
Yeah.
probably a second mother and a second father, or a first father, no shade.
Mm.
So, so what that means is, okay, our parents, they raise Black girls to be stoic, to not have feelings. But if you can't
Mm.
have feelings, then nobody can know who you really are. It is almost impossible for you to deeply connect with another person,
Mm.
especially a man. Because here's the thing, if you're not comfortable expressing your feelings, and however archaic it sounds, you in a relationship as a woman, you initiate the vulnerability. And once he feels like it's safe because you're comfortable with feelings, he's going to be inspired to actually share his feelings. And that's where the deep connection happens. But if
Oh,
you don't know how to
wow.
do that, you're never going to have that. So,
Damn.
vulnerability is a really important part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feminine energy is about being, it's not about doing. So, some of us have to slow the hell down, right? Some of us have to, if you're saying things like, I got it, you're saying things like, no, I'm good. You're not good. You don't got it. Part of the feminine is allowing, accepting, receiving, right? So it means allowing and teaching in a safe environment within my program of asking for help and learning how to do that because your man is going to want to help you with everything. That's how he self actualizes. But if you don't afford him that, right? Which is a win-win, by the way, right? It's a win-win. You're taking things off of your plate and he gets to do things for
Yeah.
you and feel
Yeah.
good about that. But if you're not doing that, he's taking that as rejection. And he's going to find someone else where he can feel like he's a man with. So
That's so good.
all of these amazing high-powered women who get cheated on, and I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just we have to understand the nature of men and women,
Yeah.
right? Part of it is that this feeling emasculated. We talked about thinking and judgments versus feelings. A lot of us are very judgmental, and it's a defense mechanism, right? And when we're judging, it can be very emasculating. Even if we're not judging the man directly, if we're saying, "Ooh, look at her shoes. Those look terrible," right?
Yeah.
Or, "Oh my God, why is it so hot here? Like they got to do something about that." And I'm sitting next to you as a man, I'm thinking, well, if she's judging all these things, how is she going to judge me?
Dang.
That doesn't feel emotionally safe to me.
Damn.
So these are the sorts of things that we work through so that we're ready for a masculine, energetic man. Because most black and brown women are leading with the masculine. And it's not attractive to masculine men. Yeah.
I've never heard it that way. Um, as you were speaking, I was thinking about just in the beginning of my relationship, that was something I struggled with. And even like when he first met my mother, he told my mother she was he said their first conversation, he was like, Jessica's doing a good job. Like she was like,
This
at
sounds like a parent
first
teacher conference.
it was like mind you, we having brunch and I'm over here getting my mimosa and I hear him telling my mom, Jessica, like she's come a long way because at the beginning I would try to do things for her and I would try to help her with stuff and she would not let me do it. And even now, like for instance, one of the things that I've grown to appreciate is going to the airport with him. When I go to the airport with my man, I literally don't have to think about nothing. I've
Nothing.
never experienced that. And I feel like something like an airport trip is a very big indicator of how a man treats you, how a man sees you. It doesn't sound like it to most, but it's such a to me it's been a huge indicator. When I go and I just reach, just by habit, I will reach for my luggage and he's already pulled it in. He's already gone and gotten everything. I got this. This is our gate. He signed me up for TSA pre-check because I didn't have it. Like he always wants to make sure that
Life
things
is
run.
easier for you.
Life has been so much easier. And
Mhm.
I just had never experienced that. But then there was something in me that was like, no, well, if he's making stuff easy, I got to make things hard because, like, so I could really see if he really, like, it's just like, I
Yeah.
don't know if it's like a,
It was sabotaging. It was self-sabotaging. And that is very natural. It's one of the things that I tell my clients in the first month of their relationship. You're going to sabotage this, and so is he, right? And we have
mm,
to create space for that, right? This is very important. I want to talk a little bit about why this is the case specifically for Black women, right?
please do.
Because Black women are often taught that you can't trust or rely on anyone.
Yes.
You can't, right? Because
Yes.
of the experience of our mothers, our grandmothers, our foremothers. And so this is something that is top of mind for so many people, right? And then, so that's one of the reasons why it's like, okay, no, I got it. It's okay. I'll get it. Because I
Yeah.
can't trust you. I can't rely on you.
Yeah.
And if I do, then it feels like a disempowered state. It feels like, okay, now I owe them something. And now they have control or power over me. When
Oh,
in
that's good.
reality, the feminine energy is the most powerful energy that you can have in this universe, right?
Mm.
What I think is important for Black women and women of color to know is that you don't have to do anything in return for
Mm.
when a man does something for you.
Hello.
It's very important to understand it. This is not transactional. You just get to be. Your presence enough is the transaction, is the currency. But so many of us have been taught that our value is what we're able to do, right? We were talking about being a daughter in the household. So many of us cooked and cleaned starting at
Yeah.
12 years old. And so that was
Yeah.
the value. You were making things easier for the household because the parents were struggling so much that that's what you considered value, what you did versus who you were or who you are. So a lot of this work that we're doing, I think people think that dating coaching is like, text him this so that he'll do that.
Right.
But the dating coaching is my dating coaching, I can't speak for everybody else's, is much deeper than that. This is about healing inner child wounds and breaking generational curses.
You said something that just had me think about because you were talking about sabotaging. I remember Shirley saying that you told her you can never do the wrong thing to the right guy. Why do you feel that's such a like important message to pass on to women, especially us?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing this work for over 15 years. And so I have the data points. I think people think that I'm like, oh, trying to be very Pollyanna about it. It is actually very true. I mean, you heard Shirley's story. Honey, she
Yeah,
sabotaged every step of the way,
you
right?
did.
And, you know,
And I've
and the
done
reason I
sabotaging
think we all
myself.
have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like especially when you're in a healthy relationship, you want to test it out to understand, are you going to be there for the hard times, right?
Hmm.
Um, the thing is though that there is a thing called unconditional love that a lot of us are not used to.
Mm.
And that's when I say like you can't do the wrong thing, because unconditional love is I accept you. I love you regardless and we're going to work through this. And a lot of us aren't used to that. A lot of us haven't had that. And so that concept can feel very foreign, even though it sounds beautiful. For it to actually internalize for people, it's very difficult until they actually experience it. So I'm going to continue to yell it from the rooftops until people start to understand that you can't do the wrong thing to the right guy, but you also can't make the right guy good. It's a very important other part that I also talk
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good because a lot of us will try to force that wrong guy into the right position, which is something I like every woman has done. Like we've done at some point where we're just like, all right, let me just go ahead and just fit this square into a circle real quick and put some lipstick on this pig right quick and just make it work, child.
Let's talk about
Um,
that because I think that it is especially relevant for Black and brown women. And the reason I
mm,
say that is because um, many of us are late bloomers. Many of us don't have rosters. And so we have this scarcity mindset when it comes to love,
mm,
where
yeah,
we would rather be with someone, even if they're not fully serving us, than to have no one
nothing.
at all. And I'm here to share with you that it is better to have no one at all. And the reason that that is the case is because when you're, let's say we do a lot of quantitative analysis in my program. Let's say on a scale from 0 to 10, this guy's giving 6 treatment, right?
Mm,
But you got attention, so you feeling all right sometimes.
yeah.
The longer that you're with a man that's a 6, the more that will become your upper limit for love. And you will only look for 6s. you won't even know what to do with an 8, 9, or 10.
Damn.
That's why being with someone that is at that level, that is not at the ultimate level, is actually very dangerous for you. Everything in your body will get used to it and it will feel normal. And your brain will trick you into thinking that that is the best that you can do.
Mm.
That's why you have so many situationships, right?
Mm.
So you have to be okay with 0. And the thing is, you're never at 0 because you always have yourself, right?
Hello.
But a lot of us don't understand and value what that looks like, what that means.
Yeah.
So if it's not a 9 or a 10, it's a 0. It's got to be a 0. We got to let it go.
Do you feel, have you ever run into situations, especially like when coaching, where someone has come to you and you have had to tell them, hey, you're not prepared to date, actually?
Yes,
Like,
many times.
okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
on a weekly basis.
okay. Because I wanted to touch on that quickly too, because I feel that while we all look for partnerships, sometimes we're just not ready to date. And that's
Mhm.
okay too. Like, I've had moments in my life where I was just bored. Like, I've looked at decisions that I've made with men sometimes, and it was like, I wasn't ready to date. I wasn't looking for nothing really. I just was bored.
Or lonely.
Or,
But lonely is not a reason for you to date,
mhm,
right? I think it's a very important point. Just because you're lonely doesn't mean that you need to date.
mhm,
Um, I think that first, let me say this. I don't think that you need to be fully healed to start dating. I
mhm,
actually think that part of your healing can happen during dating as well as when you're in a relationship.
mhm,
And I say that because I have a lot of perfect daughters out there that feel like they have to be perfect before they do start anything. And that's not necessarily the case. Um, the way that I think about working with clients is open mindedness, right? Are you open to new and different ways of thought? And how that
mm,
translates into dating is if you're not open, if you're very judgmental, you're not going to connect with anybody.
mm.
So all of your efforts in dating are for naught, right? Because you're not going to ever be able to see people and you're always going to be in a judgmental state. I often think, the things that I ask my potential clients are, can you talk about the last situation that you were in without being emotional?
Why?
Because if you're still hanging on to that, then all of your decisions are going to be running away from whatever happened instead of
Mm,
actually being in the present moment, right?
mm.
I literally was just talking to someone yesterday and I was like, well, talk to me about what's on your list. And everything that was on her list was anti her ex.
Mm.
And that,
So she was still carrying her ex into her future decisions.
and the issue with that is you're going to use your ex as the benchmark. And that's always going to be an issue because your ex is probably, let's go again, on a scale from 0 to 10, a 2 or a 3. So if someone is a little bit better than your ex, a 4 or a 5, you're going to be okay with it. And that's an issue.
Ooh. Ooh. That's
So
good.
it's very important for you to be over your ex and make sure that everything that you're focused on, the way that you're thinking about dating, is coming from you and not from him. Yeah. So that's really
So good.
important too. Yeah.
So good. I wanted to touch back on something that you said earlier about eldest daughters, kind of. You kind of touched on it, and how we've had to be second mothers. Sometimes we've had to be first fathers. And as an eldest daughter, even in my conversation with Shirley, I kind of touched on that too, that like I feel that my mom, she prepared me for a very, very rough world. Like she did. Like I'm a Haitian girl, Caribbean girl, like, I'm an immigrant. I'm the firstborn of my siblings. And I feel that like I just didn't experience a lot of softness, like you were talking about some of our parents, you don't really experience like them cherishing you, them liking you. And I feel that that has kind of carried on into my dating experiences. Um, what advice do you have? This was actually a question from one of the sisters on my post. What advice do you have for dating when it comes to eldest daughters?
Yeah. Well, first, it really sucks. But I think
Yeah.
it's important to actually acknowledge that. I think a lot of eldest daughters just think it's like very normal, like how they grew up. It's not. Most other siblings don't grow up that way,
Hmm.
right? And so I think it's important to acknowledge the feelings that you may have around that. That's number one. Number two, oftentimes eldest siblings, eldest daughters, will have a codependent relationship with their mothers, right? Meaning you're so focused on making sure that they're happy that you've sacrificed your own. And that will
Mm,
translate into other relationships, romantic, friendships, work relationships, other. So actually part of your work as an eldest daughter is to start putting yourself first, is to be a bit self-centered. Everything has to be for your benefit. And
mm.
it's gonna feel yucky for at first. It's gonna feel disgusting because you've never been taught that that is okay,
But it's
right?
necessary.
But you taking care of the household, you taking care of the parents, you taking care of the siblings. So it's foreign to think that I can take care of myself first and foremost,
Mm.
right? So this is really important. So what does that mean for my single mothers out there? A lot of them will get the favorite foods of their kids, but they won't get anything for themselves. Girl, get your favorite food first.
Mm.
Get those chips that you like. Get that $5 cookie that you like. Whatever it is, I don't care. Get the things that you like. I always tell my clients every week you're gonna have to get yourself a treat, not a reward. A reward is something that you work for and then afterward you get. A treat is something that you give to yourself, not because you've done anything, but just because you are and you want it. It's gonna give you pleasure.
Mm.
So every week, my eldest daughters out there, get yourself a treat.
I
Also,
like that you said pleasure. I'm so sorry to interrupt
no, go
you,
ahead, go
but
ahead.
I love that you said pleasure because that's not something that I grew up hearing or,
Yeah.
you know, grew up thinking that I deserved. Pleasure.
Mhm.
Like we deserve that.
It's required to be a human to have that,
Hmm.
right? And when we think about your future relationship, your man is going to want to please you every step of the way. And if you don't know how to please yourself, and no shade, inside or outside of the bedroom,
Hello.
then he doesn't have a roadmap to know how to do it. And you give him that roadmap, not only in how you like treat yourself, but also how you express that. Because your job in a relationship is not to do anything, it's to know how you feel and express how you feel. That's it.
Mm.
That's it. But going back to what you had asked about for the eldest daughter, for the eldest daughter, you're going to have to find the fun little girl inside. You're going to have to find the fun little girl inside because
Why do you
unfortunately
say
that
that?
was taken away from you.
That's so good.
You're going to, so let's say you were growing, think
So
about
good.
your age from 8 to 12 and the things that you did or wanted to do, but you didn't have the chance to. Because that's when you're developing as a girl, right? I have an 11-year-old daughter myself. Shout out to her.
Oh.
She just got her period, so we had a period party.
Oh.
Rock
Oh,
on.
oh, that is good.
Girl, you already know we have to put things on the table.
Celebrating that? That's crazy.
We have
I've
to.
never, yeah.
We have to.
That's great.
But I say all of that to say between the ages of 8 and 12, you're going to have to get back to that. If you wanted to do ballet and you couldn't, girl, take a ballet class. If you
Oh
want to do
my,
flower arrangement, go ahead and do that, girl. Whatever you wanted to do it. Because most eldest daughters, and I say this with love and respect, y'all are stick in the muds.
yep.
You're too responsible. And in relationships, your future guy is going to want a homie, lover, and friend. And
Not a
oftentimes,
mom.
not a mom, but the eldest daughter gives friend. she gives friend. She doesn't give homie. And homie is, can I banter? Can I talk shit with you? Right?
Mhm.
But you're so focused on being Miss Responsible 2025 that you can't just take a breath and chill, right? It's a very important part of, as we're thinking about connection, right? So find the fun little girl inside, whatever that looks like for you. The fun little boy for me looked like playing tennis and watching WWE and engaging in those things, right? But you got to engage in those things so that you can have a mode of lightness and be able to float, because that will connote and denote confidence and more feminine energy, which will be much more attractive, right? And magnetic.
I love that so much. You really spoke to like a small voice in me that just the other day, I was thinking I've always wanted piano lessons. And that
Do
was
it.
something that when I was little, my mom bought a piano and I played it by ear. And I would play it by ear. People who knew how to play it, sometimes if they came over and they played it, I would watch what they did and I would just mimic it. But she never put me in piano lessons. She never like invested in like that gift that I had, that musical gift I had. And just the other day I was like, oh, this is gonna make me cry. But just the other day I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give myself those piano lessons.
Do it.
I wanna do
Do it,
that.
girl.
And you just said that. I'm like, dang, I'm really gonna just go get my Beethoven on. Like it's time. Like
They wooing on, girl. They wooing
okay.
on. Yeah?
Beethoven.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Literally, I feel like
Do
you
it.
really, yeah, you
Do it.
that really touched me when you said that.
When I tell you, it will heal parts of you that you didn't even know needed to be healed. You will feel it. Week 2, week 3, week 4,
Yeah.
you will feel it. You will feel lighter. You will feel fun. Because, working and all of this, it's oftentimes not fun.
Yeah.
And Black women get to have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Why have you chosen Black women for your messaging? I mean, I appreciate it. I love it, but I just feel like we're just in a time where Black women are just being attacked left and right, and it just like we just don't get no break. Why have you chosen to create such a safe space, such a loving space for Black women?
Yeah. Um,
I feel it. 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 Yeah. Oh, I want to. I don't.
I don't cry,
I
girl.
feel
You've been these tears out, girl.
it's just I just
Oh,
I'll
you
just
don't.
tell you this. I want to tell you thank you. I really do want to tell you thank you because it's just it's just like I don't know, like being a Black woman. I love being a Black woman. I love being a Black woman. I would not trade it for the world, but it just gets so heavy sometimes just looking at the way the world looks at us, and then we hear just the way people talk about us in the dating space, and it's like damn, like how could you not love Black women? How could you not look at Black women with reverence? How do you not praise the Black woman just because she simply is a Black woman? Like literally.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
feel like Black women are the beginning and the end. I will tell you that this work is very personal to me. You know, I grew up with my grandmothers. My great grandmother woke up every morning at 4 and 5 a.m. to cook breakfast and to wash dishes and to do laundry because her history is serving a white family. So that's what I start with. My grandmother is a Christian woman who helped me with my value system. It's just every step of the way, right?
Yeah.
They've just helped me and uplifted me. And I just feel like it's part of me giving back. I wouldn't be here without them. So, this is just me giving back based on everything that they've given to me. Whether it's, I was a gay boy. In school, the black girls protected me, right? It was the black women in my corporate spaces that taught me how to navigate, how to move, right? In business school, they taught me how to get the most amazing jobs, how to network, how to do all of that. Every step of my success in life has been from a black woman. How could I not?
Yeah.
How could I not? Yeah. So I love them. It's personal to me. And I think that they have bigger challenges and no one's telling them how to navigate them.
Yeah.
And so for me, it is, I feel like I'm the best at this. And I want to bring that energy, that knowledge to them, right? No shade, respectfully speaking. I could talk to the white girls and 5x my income. But that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What
I
matters is,
I I feel amazing and fulfilled when they are different, when they're getting what they want in life. So, my hope and my intention is to help them in that journey. I feel like every black woman needs and deserves love, and my intention is to help them get that.
I mean, I think you're kicking ass with your intention.
Thank you.
I think that this is God's work for you. Like, honestly, I feel like it's God's work. And even when I was talking to Shirley, and she said to me that she wasn't necessarily looking for a coach, but that her friend mentioned that, oh, I've been getting coached. And she's like, oh, well, who's the coach? And it turned out to be you. And I remember telling Shirley, that was God. That wasn't even like when I heard her, it was, girl, the 10K and all that, that's cool. But the message in all that is that you were obedient to God and God brought you onward. And I think that you are also being obedient to God's voice in your life, and the journey that he has you on, you're being obedient to serving God. Like, by serving black women, you're literally serving God, and you're
That's
serving God.
right.
Yeah, and I think that what you're doing is so 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 beautiful. So beautiful. I mean, I am so thankful. I'm so 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 thankful for this conversation. I feel like I could talk to you all day. But I know, listen, Anwar, he got things to do. He got things
Yes,
to
honey.
do.
Girl, I got sessions. I got clients.
Okay. Listen. So before I let you go, can you please, I mean, as if the people don't know, but can you please let us know how to follow you, where to follow you, how to support you, and what to do if we are looking for your services?
Yeah, no problem. So, um, you can find me at Dating Coach Anwar on all the socials. If you want to learn a little bit more about like what I do, you can definitely go to my website, getyourguycoaching.com. If you feel like I might want deeper work, right? I might want to get into the weeds a little bit, book a consultation call, right? And we'll talk and we'll figure out if it's a fit, right? I'm here to help any and all. And I think a lot of people are nervous about that. Like they're like, why do I need one? What if you learn something in this session, then you might need one. You
Mm,
might need one to help to navigate, to help you put the guardrails on, especially in this day and time. It is harder than ever.
yeah,
It has tripled in difficulty pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
yeah.
So if you guess what? Here's the thing. I believe that each and every person can get into an amazing relationship on their own. But what I do think is helpful and important is if you want to have someone understand and call out your blind spots and make this process 6 months versus 6 years, then you might want the added value of a dating coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thank you again, ANWAR. You guys who are out there, please, please, please tap into ANWAR. Those of you guys who are looking for a dating coach, this is your only stop for a dating coach, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, like, listen, go ahead and tap into ANWAR. ANWAR, I thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with me. Those of you guys who are watching, thank you so much for being subscribed. This has been another episode of Just a Couple Things. Again, make sure that you follow me on every streaming platform that streams podcasts. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. This is me and ANWAR signing out.
Woo, woo, woo.
Woo, woo, woo. Jessie,
Pioneer.